Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Leilo nishmat. Rabbi Sai, here's a guy putting a video together for MDY, but you have to listen to the first 3 seconds. Unbelievable. Listen carefully. Okay, here goes. Some volume.
תודה רבה, הרב אלי, על השיעורים.
Wow.
You heard that? Nachamol. Okay.
תודה רבה, הרב אלי, על השיעורים.
Wow.
This is from Gaza. Yeah.
To Gaza.
To Gaza, yeah. אז תודה רבה על השיעורים, אנחנו מתחזקים מזה. ותראה איזה יופי, שיהודי פה מעוטף עזה, יהודי באמריקה, לומדים ביחד, דף יומי. תודה רבה, יש כוח.
עם ישראל חי.
עם ישראל חי.
Rabbi Say, this is the story that we said yesterday. What's the guy's name again? He comes here all the time. He was learning. David Lichter. His father Yaakov Lichter comes, does daf. This is This is just a thank you video to Donnie Fine.
So like you can see, this is the helmets that we had till now. You can see it's dancing on my head. You can see the difference on everyone, how it looks, the amazing helmets that you gave us. So I want to thank Mitzvah Opportunity Group for the amazing donation, and Donnie Fine for helping us getting the very good tactical helmets that will help us in our missions. Thank you very, very much. Am Yisrael Chaya!
He's banging his helmet. Little did he know that just a few days later, that's the helmet. That with that helmet, he got a massive gash. How many stitches did he have?
You don't want to see the picture.
I saw the picture. Yeah, it's very bad. Massive gash, maybe this long, many stitches. And Donnie Fai with his chesed, he does chesed. What's it called? Mitzvah opportunities. He has opportunities. He does different. He gets people braces, pays people's rent, and gives the opportunity. People jump in there and give him money. It's givaldik. Here he is, very, very familiar face. He comes around all the time. Here he is holding the daf. Is this after?
No, this is a little while ago.
This is before. Oh, so he's part of the share beforehand.
4 years ago.
Oh, this picture is 4 years ago? Ah, unbelievable. He's not the guy that does magic, right? No, that's a different guy. I'm confusing him. Hi, Rebelli. I'm only 12 years old, but I enjoy your shir so much, that I started doing Daf Yomi nearly every single day, Ari Arking. And L'chvoid Rebelli, as my son is learning this parak in yeshiva, he's enjoying doing some chazar by watching yeshiva on parak shar shenogach. Since the Shabbaton, that's still in my bones, I started chazar from Brachas, Daf Beis, and it makes my day and life even better by finding an extra half hour in my day to learn and teach my class every day something that did a chazara. I love your Hebrew shir by getting in another language. Alev Atzlach. Ari, check it out. Rabbi Sai, we got to jump in. We have a lot to accomplish today. So, Oh, I have to show that picture of Baruch Foreman. What do you say? This is just that day that I'm holding already by the sponsors at 7:18. First time in history. There's a problem. All right. The Masechta sponsor for the unity of Am Yisrael, the Parnas HaChodesh nishmat Chaneh bar Elimelech, Parnas HaChodesh nishmat Mendel ben Pinchas, Parnas HaChodesh nishmat Zechrya ben Moshe nishmat Chaya bas Yosef, Parnas HaChodesh Yosef ben Chaya Sara for all the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah, brain intact. Unleash your full potential. These the Parnas Hayoim should be Zocha to Nasik Kedusha and tremendous success in all my endeavors. Rabbi Sai, I don't see any guys. Oh, Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Nachum Shor from? Wow, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Come often. Here's a question for the Olam. A guy was upset at his competition that was selling fabrics. So he took geschmack meat, nice fresh meat, went into the store, pretended that he's purchasing something, and he hid the meat within the fabrics. Of course, a week later, there was a tremendous stench, and there's nothing he could do about it. He took apart everything, and he found this meat, which ruined most of his upholsteries and fabrics. What kind of damage is that? Are you chayiv? Are you not chayiv? I'm talking about a smell. Is a reyach considered a damage? It's not hezek nicker, huh?
Yes, because we had the intent.
But it's not. It didn't happen today. The smell wasn't there today. It was something that developed over a period of time. So that's one of the things we're going to see today. Rabbi Say, we're holding like, 15 lines from the bottom of Mem Zayin Amud Beis Meisvei. We had Rav said a very interesting svara that if you put fruit in front of an animal, even if it's poison, havila shloi toichal. This is svara that an animal should not eat, should control itself. Who told the animal to eat somebody else's fruit? Rav Sheshes was mind-boggled by the statement. He said it must be that Rav, which was his Rebbe, and we know Rav is a Tana, was polig as halacha of a Tana, he's the first Amoira. Must be that he was about to doze off. He said it, he was going in and out of consciousness. He didn't really say such a halacha straight out, and he proves it. He proves that he was wrong. The Gemara says it's not such a great proof. Akopanim, Rav stays with his thing that Havelo Shaloi Toicha. So we're holding here by Meisvei. Perhaps we could prove that Rav is wrong. Meisvei. A woman goes in to grind her wheat. She walks into the mill without permission, starts grinding. The owner has a guard dog, and the guard dog eats up all the wheat. Potter, of course, the owner is Potter. In Huska, and if the animal was damaged by the wheat, maybe the animal slipped on it, ate it, whatever shot you want to learn, Chayev as she is Chayev. But according to Rav, why don't we invoke his svara of Amai, who told the animal to eat the wheat? It's not her fault. Amri. So we say to this, great kasha. But so, if you look at the chart over here, so basically it's identical to our Mishnah. So you're asking, Rav said is Allah in our Mishnah, you're asking us a question from a Brisa. The words are identical, so you didn't gain anything. We already explained, Vim Huska Behem, as Rabbi Greenman said yesterday. Huska means slip, not eat. Okay, so Im Huska over here also means the dog slipped on it, didn't eat it. Eating, a dog should control himself. Slipping something else, you put something slippery on the floor, for that you're chayiv. Uli ka'arla, my ka'arla. Yeah, but okay, what's the havamina? You bring me something that's word for word from our Mishnah, to our Mishnah, and you're asking me a question. Okay, we already established that our Mishnah is talking about slipping, so this price is also. There is one big difference. Look at the wording. They're almost identical. It's a story. And then look at the green. Potter. They're identical, green to green. Then you go to the red. Imhuska chayeves, the bottom one. But in the Mishnah it says imhuska bohen. And if you want to be medayik in Lashon Kodesh, imhuska could be a whole new thing. The first sentence is in green, that the animal ate it. Vimhuska bahen, if the animal was damaged with it, meaning it slipped on it. But by the woman, it doesn't say bohen. So it means, the pashas means, first it says the animal ate. Vimhuska, after the animal ate, and there was damage, not bohen, not in it, with it, that it slipped on it. Bohen, huska, finished, there was hezek. What makes a lot of sense, hezek means, from the statement earlier, that the animal ate it, v'huska, and there's damage. If you add the one word bahem, now you could say maybe it means slipped. The hezek was caused with it. Achilu diktani. Okay, so that one word made us think that it's a little different. It's talking about achila. V'idach, and now that you want to say it goes like Rav, no. The pshat is, like Rav would say, that both are talking about that the animal slipped. Bahen, not bahen, no difference, it's talking about the same thing. Tashma. We have a brayso. You bring your animal into somebody else's domain, and the animal eats over there. He ate a lot of wheat, v'hitriz, and he got a terrible stomach disease, umeis, and the animal dies. Potter. And he had permission. Then the owner of the chatzar is chayiv on the damage that was caused to the animal. Why is the Baal Bayis chayiv? Animal should know. Don't eat that much. Don't eat yourself till you get sick. Actually, I just remembered. I saw that there's such a thing that the cows and animals, they could overeat and they just die. You have to control them. Omarava, don't ask me a question from a place that's talking about with permission. B'shus, over there, since the owner of the domain allowed the animal to come in, Shmira Shoyra Kibal Olav, that's what we discussed the other day. He accepted upon himself full Shmira. Vafilu, says the Gemara, interesting lashon. I asked Yoshi, we ran out of time. It would have been an interesting cartoon. Vafilu Chanak Etzatzmai. Even if a cow takes goes up to the gallows and puts the noose around his neck. You have to prevent everything, no matter what. Make sure this cow doesn't overeat, etc. But when you go in Shalei B'Shus, then of course, okay, so we had a machloikis again. What's the machloikis here? Chacham say that when you allow somebody to come into your domain, for instance, I'm not saying that this is the halacha, but just to make it more relevant, you allow somebody to do long-term parking by. Which remind me, I heard a beautiful word from a Rafari. Is that his name? Unbelievable speaker from Manhattan. He was at my Farchi. Beautiful, beautiful. We have to get him for the Shabbaton. Everything that he said was. What? No. He's in the east side.
He is the
Shabbaton in Israel. If you guys,
Rabbi of the Safra Synagogue in Manhattan.
Safra Synagogue in Manhattan. He said he was on the plane and he saw a guy with Kriya. So he went over to him and he said, listen, when you go to the airport, there's long-term parking and short-term parking. Mashiach is around the corner here. Mashiach, look what's going on. Mashiach is around the corner. You're going to bury your father in short-term parking. You'll see him in a few days. Don't worry about it. I thought it was very nice. It was a beautiful thing. It's a nice chizuk. Maybe you're a little scared. Short-term parking. It's good. Okay, Akopanim. Guy does long-term parking. He's there for a month. What kind of achrayis do you have on his vehicle? Chacham say when you give somebody rishus to park in your driveway, automatically, without saying a word, you become a shomer. Rebbe says, no, you have to specify. I am a shomer. If he doesn't specify, not. Toshma. Ibailu. Heicha the Kabbalah led in Terusamau. When this individual accepts upon himself to be a shomer, whether he said it mefurish like Rebbe, whether it happened automatically like Chachamim, did he say, I'm going to prevent my own children and my own animals from damaging your vehicle? I'm taking achrayis that no one in the neighborhood is going to ride his bike next to your car and scratch it. Tashma. So here we have a nice little chart that Yoshi did. What's going on here is, not to get confused, there's 3 people involved, 3 owners. Owner number 1 is Reuven. He owns this whole chutzner. Here comes owner number 2, Mr. Shimon, and he places down fruit. He owns the fruit. Comes owner number 3, a guy that owns an animal, and he eats the fruit. Okay, so there's a guy that owns a property, a guy that owns the fruit, a guy that owns the bull. The Tony Rav Yehuda Bar Simon said, Bin Nizakin. As they were learning Nizakin, I guess in those days, it was called Nizakin. Today we split it up into Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, Baba Basra. But they were learning Nizakin. The Beit Karna. He was learning the yeshiva of Karna. Comes Shimon, the guy in the blue suit, he puts down the fruit. This is exactly our question. This is the child riding a bike, scratches the car with the handlebar. Why? Because this is a shar that walks in, owned by another guy, not the owner of the chutzner, Mr. Reuven, rather Mr. Levi has a bull, and it comes in from another place. V'achlan potter. So the owner of the bull is potter l'chayru, v'michnas b'shus, and if he had permission to bring his bull in there, I'm sorry, if the guy had permission to bring his fruit in there, chayav is chayav. Says Gemara, man potter, man chayav. What's a simple explanation? Who's chayav, who's potter? La potter bal chatzar, chayav bal chatzar. We're talking about the owner of the property. If it was done without permission, he's potter. If it was done with permission, the owner of the property is chayav on the fruit. Another bull ate it. Okay, so go to the owner of the bull and grab money from him later on. So, Akopan, we have a raya here. Here's the owner of the chutzner. He gave permission to Shimon to put his fruit down. Now comes an, how do you say it, exterior, some other External. Thank you. External damage from a bull. It's not his bull. It's some other guy's bull. It's Levi's bull. And we're saying chayev. So you see that if a kid rides his bike past the car and scratches the car, you, the owner of the driveway, is chayev. Amri loy. That's not the way to learn it. Potter balashar v'chayev balashar. We're talking about the owner of the ox. So if the owner of the fruit had permission to put the fruit there, then the owner of the ox is chayiv. If not, he's potter. As the Gemara, obviously, we went through this cheshbon. Why did I say the pshat is that's the owner of the chatzar? Because I understood that it can't be pshat that it's the owner of the bull. Why? Who cares if the guy put his fruit in there with permission, without permission? Your bull came and ate it. Your bull is chayiv. You have nothing to do with this. Your bull came from outside and ate somebody's fruit. And what difference does it make if you have permission to put the fruit there? It's none of your business. If Shimon had reshus from Ruvain to put his fruit in Ruvain's chatzar, you're Mr. Levi. Take care of your bull. Make sure your bull doesn't eat my fruit. Amri. So don't forget this pasuk. We're talking about the damage of shen. When an animal causes damage through benefiting from the damage, through eating, through scratching its back, it must be ubir b'zdei acher, must be in the reshus hanizah. So, Amri, Birshos, if Reuven gave permission to Shimon to put his fruit there, Havelo Shem Birshos hanizah. So Shimon all of a sudden becomes the owner of Reuven's chatzar. When Reuven gives him permission to place his fruit down, so halachically, he acquires that space that he put his fruit down. So now when Levi's bull comes in there and eats Shimon's fruit, it's from Shimon's property. Oh, now you have to pay Nezek Shalom. Just throwing on this chart here, if anybody wants to see some of the halachas that we learned. We're going to get to Keren, we're going to get to Shen. Havelo Shen b'shus hanizuk, v'Shen b'shus hanizuk chayeves. Shaloi b'shus. However, if Shimon came in there without permission, put down his fruit, Havelo Shen b'shus harabim. Now, yes, it's in the chatzar of Reuven, but Reuven never gave permission. So halachically, it's considered a reshus harabim. In other words, it's not ubir b'zdei acher. It's not in the domain of that who was damaged. So v'shem b'shus harabim p'tura. Fine. Next.
Levi's shore was mazik area under the Paris. You would have to give it money to Shimon.
It just means that once you have, obviously, Reuven is the owner of the chatzar. If I let you be in my chatzar, I give you rishus to come into my place. So halachically, benegeta ubir b'zdei acher, not benegeta nizakin. I didn't sell it to you. I didn't rent it to you.
But can't all of us say you have permission, but the price is still yours? I can control a flight, it's outside.
But that was a discussion we had yesterday, the day before. That when I put something down, do I have what kind of achrayus? We're actually going to talk about it now. We're going to go into that. What kind of achrayus do I have when I come into your property? You give me rishus. Tashma. Similar cases here, Rabbi Isai. You bring in your bull into somebody else's property. Again, this is almost identical to what we just said, just a slightly different case, and therefore the shackle of a tire is going to be almost identical. Before we said you put fruit in, Shimon came brought fruit in. Now Shimon came and brought a bull in, and another bull, the same story as before, another bull, Levi's bull comes from a different place, and caused damage, potter. And if you did it with permission, chayav. As the Gemara, man potter man chayav. Lav potter bal chatzar, b'chayav bal chatzar. Again, the same exact shak of a tire. It means that the owner of the chatzar is potter, but if he gave reshus to the bull to come in, and another bull damaged him, you're a chayev. Why? The owner, wow, there's a seat right for you, right here. Here, come. Such a chashuv guest. Kim Tzarayin. Standing up. Guy brought in over 1,000 people to learn Torah. The zchusim, phenomenal. So, man poder man chayev, la poder bal chotzer v'chayev bal chotzer. So why? The owner of the chotzer was mekabel shmira, mekabel on himself. I let you bring your bull in. Come here, sir. Shalom Aleichem. Thanks for coming. Wow. So Zok the Gemara, the famous parents, Chaim Levin, if you knew for the Tashir, if you're not, okay. I just saw your cartoon. What daf was it? Like Baba Kama Daf Yud Gimel or something. I forgot where it was, where you're standing in front of that shul in Avenue L. It was a whole long one. Yeah, okay, fine. Man Podru Man Chayev, fine. Okay, so Nachamal. We have a raya again that external damage came inside the chotzer. You, the owner of the chotzer, Chayev, says the Gemara, the same territory we had a second ago. Loi Potter Balas Shor, v'Chayev Balas Shor. The owner that caused the damage, he's Chayev or Potter. Yihachi, my b'shusa, my shaloi b'shusika. What difference does it make if there was permission for the first shor to be there or not? Both of them, the owner should be Chayev, right? Your bull damaged my bull. Who cares if the first guy had permission or not? Amri. We're doing a little chazara on what we learned before. Reb Tarfon is the one that says that yes, there's a difference between a tam and a muad, but that's only in Rishus Harabim. When it comes to chatzar and nizak, when your bull enters my property and causes damage to my property, you have to pay the full amount. So therefore, once again, if you have permission to be there, then it turns into your chatzar halachically for this halacha, for Tarfon's halacha, you pay the full amount. But if you brought your bull into Reuven's domain without permission, that's the typical keren. So Rashi, it says potter. So Rashi right away says, potter just means you don't pay full nezek, you pay half nezek. Chayiv means you pay the full amount. Okay. Mishalma, the chatzin, it's a good thing you noticed that. Says the Gemara Hayitza. I got to show you this beautiful video that was done just for the sugya. I had a no specifically from when the woman finds out. I noticed her left foot is tapping. She's like nervous, upset. Here, there's nuances here. Take a look at this maisa. She's kneading dough, obviously. She's baking bread. We had a problem with the sound. Kitzer, the Levayef, Nagdi, Achoshuv. Kitzer. Yeah. Doesn't have a beard. Had a beard. He lost his beard and all. What happened there? Was Gesher Rabbi side the Gdi of the owner. The owner gave permission to this woman to bake bread, and he had a pet goat. We had a guy here, and he comes to daven every day, very chush of a person, Rabbi Shua Berman. He didn't want to get his kids a dog, so when I moved here to the neighborhood, I was like, what in the world? I see a guy walking in the street with a goat, a leash and a goat, mamish. He says, they don't make a big mess, you don't have to clean up after them, the tzaya is small, it's a goat, it's a kosher animal. You remember this? Okay. So, I don't know if he's nicha with me saying it, but anyways, it's good. So, the guy had look, you see in the Gemara, people had pet goats, mefurish. The goat came and ate the woman's dough. Does she have the responsibility to make sure that other animals, things shouldn't eat her dough? The animal ate the dough and went fife, lost his life. Now, I don't know exactly how it works. I'm not a doctor. I was theorizing yesterday that perhaps it's from the alcohol in the dough. The fermentation killed it. Some guy said, no, maybe it blocked all the... it's a malagera, so it stores it and comes up from one stomach. It gives it some blockage. Whatever the pshat is, it dies. It's not good. Certain things are not what? Certain things are not good for the sound. So let's see inside. Ayitzo, huh? Schlissel? Challah? Oh, it ate the key in the dough. Ayitzo da alsa lemeifa bahu beisa. She had permission to go into this house to bake bread. Asa barcha, the goat came, the marid, the besa, the owner of the house, his goat. Achla leisha, he ate the dough. Chavel, he became ill, umis, and he dies. So the Gemara says, Chayva Rava l'shalum demei barcha. Rava said, you have to pay for the goat. Ask the Gemara, Lema the pli yad Rav. We just learned this is the continuation of the sugya. The Amar Rav, you tell an animal who told you to eat yourself to death. Who told you to eat dough? That's not, you eat grass. Says the Gemara. I'll say this bekitzer as a thing. I didn't say, I'm taking things out and putting things in here. We say on Pesach night, a lot of people say, and then v'asa kalba v'achla shunra v'asa chutra. So I think it's Reb Nachman. I think this might be the first time I'm quoting him. I think a lot of people will say b'shem Reb Nachman. He makes a cheshbon. If the cat ate the goat, so the cat is the bad guy. So then the dog is the good guy. So then the stick is the bad guy. And you make a cheshbon, all of a sudden you go all the way back to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Kaviyachal, he did the wrong thing. He killed, the Malcham Avos was the good guy. So he says, no, you're making the cheshbon wrong. The cat is bad. It ate the goat. But the dog had no right to get involved. Why did the dog get involved? He's bad. Oh, and then from there on it goes, the stick is good, and then HaKadosh Baruch Hu is good. Okay. The Malcham Avos is bad, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is good. Says the Gemara, oh, sorry. I think I skipped. Amri. Somebody should do a check here to see if the word Amri is special to Baba Kama. I don't remember it so often, every 5 minutes. Amri. He said, Hassam, in the case of Rab, he didn't have permission to come in there. Didn't accept upon himself to watch it. Over here, the woman had permission to come in, or ale, but the point is it's on a woman. Kabbalah, it says on the side. She accepted upon herself, since she had permission to come in, she accepted upon herself to make sure that there shouldn't be any damage. Now the Gemara is going to explain why. This case is a little different. How come in the case when you have permission to go, you don't have permission to go into the mill and the dog ate all your wheat, and we said over there, it's because it was without permission. It seems like if she had permission to go and grind her wheat over there, she would be potter from the damage that happened to the animal. Amri. The Gemara makes a distinction. When you make dough, you have to roll up your sleeves. Rolling up your sleeves, says Rashi, she's revealing her arms. And to reveal arms is not tznius. So the guy that owns the house and gave permission, he has to walk out of the house. He can't look at the non-tznius. But when you're grinding wheat, you don't need to roll up your sleeves. The owner doesn't have to remove himself. So the owner is still there, so the owner should watch his own goat or dog. But when it comes to making bread, since she must roll up her sleeves, she doesn't want to get dirty from the dough. Marvasa, the chatzar, so the owner of the chatzar, he removes himself from the place. Once he moves away from there, then it's obvious to everybody that's there, she herself must watch everything that's going on, including to make sure that the guy's goat doesn't eat the dough. Who else is going to watch the goat if he must remove himself from the room? I just want to show the olam. I'm not a big balalacha, or I don't pound this, but if people want to see a source, so this is the Mishnah Berurah in Siman Ayin Hey. And he makes a distinction, it's very interesting. He says, when it comes to a face of a woman or her hands, it depends on the minhag of the place. And the feet, or knee, so when we're talking about from the toes to the knee, that all depends on what the minhag is in your place that you live. Because he sees this all the time, no here. In a place that they do cover from the knee down, then she cannot reveal a tefach. Here's the big but. But from her elbow up and from her knee above her knee, even if everybody in that city goes with mini skirts or whatever it is, Kiderech haprutzos, like those who are prost, aser. The halacha is that from the knee above and from the elbow and above, it's aser in any case, whether that's the minhag or not the minhag, to reveal. That's what the Mishnah Berurah says. And it's the famous story from Lala Sulika. We had a machlokes, but I think it's Lala Sulika. She was a Moroccan woman who the prince in Morocco wanted to marry her and she refused. So he said, okay, off with your head. We're going to tie you to the tail of a horse and drag you through the streets. And she said, okay, and what's your last request? My last request is they take a needle with a string, with a thread, and you sew my dress to my body. So I'm not revealed after my death. It doesn't get pulled off by the horse or whatever. There shouldn't be a problem with sneers. Says the Gemara, Hichnes shoyer lechatzar balabayis. Amar Rava. Hichnes shoyer lechatzar balabayis shalei b'rshus. Here's a guy that a damager. He brings his animal into somebody else's property. Shalei b'rshus without permission. And the animal goes crazy and makes all these digs holes. Balashar chayev. So of course the owner of the damaging bull has to pay. B'niskei chatzar. Now this is very, very interesting. Ubal chatzar chayev b'niskei abar. Take out your pencil because it doesn't make any sense. The bal chatzar, if somebody falls into the pit, who told you? Pashut. To me, it wasn't so pashut. I'm not such a bal kishim. Okay, you know what? Scratch it. Do not take out your pencil. Don't write in the Gemara. You don't understand this. You're on merits. It's a shame that the art school puts it in there. And what's the name of the Gemara over there? Was in it because it's so pashut. You don't even need it. Now here is the chiddush. The Torah says mufurish that a human being created a pit. V'loi sharbar, not a bar that was created by an animal. Hacha. Now the Gemara says a big yesod. It's possible that an animal digs a pit, and it's considered the human being dug it. Why? He should have filled it. V'loi kamali, and he didn't fill it up. Command to carry dame. It's as if you yourself dug it. Says the Gemara B'Amarava, you bring a dog into my chatzar, you bring a bull into my chatzar, and he bites and he does damage to the balabayis. Or balabayis was a boy, or the owner tripped over him. He didn't realize this dog in his house, and he tripped on it at night. Chaya. Ravatz. But if the bull just sat himself down like in this picture, potter. As the Gemara, it makes no sense. Mishum the Ravatz potter. What? Because he sat down in the middle of the dining room, that's why he should become potter. The difference if he's standing or sitting. Omra Papa, you're right, we have to say nupshat. My Ravatz, what does it mean? He sat down. Shehir bits galalim. He relieved himself. V'netanfu kelov shel balabayis, and the owner's clothing got dirty by the galalim. The have a galalim bar. So now the galalim become a bar. Like the famous prank in America, they take some dog excrements, they put it in a paper bag, they light it on fire, put it by the guy's door, and they ring the guy's bell. The guy opens up the door. You never saw this prank. He opens up the door and he sees this thing on fire, so he tries to extinguish it with his feet. And he gets galalim all over his shoes and his pants, whatever. So now, that is hezek from galalim. And this is considered a bar. And a bar is potter from damage caused to somebody's shoes and somebody's clothing. So let's see Rashi for a second because it's a very, very sophisticated Rashi. Rashi says, and you're not allowed to answer this because you answered yesterday. So Rashi says that it didn't happen as the animal relieved itself, it happened a minute later. What's the difference? What is it called when an animal relieves himself and a piece of the excrement hits a person's shoe? What is that called? Everybody said swears. They're all right. They're all right. The oil is holding. Unbelievable. Seriously, spoiled. Like 10 people scream out swears. They saw last night. Cheer. Wow. I'll go upon him. V'davka kelov. Aval hu atzmi hu zekhayev al hashar v'lo patrina le mishum ishbar v'lo sharbar the kol mida the havadi day b'shas nefila. Anything the owner owns, going lalim like the excrements, he owns it at that point. We go to another gemalo v'lo yimida, and like his camel fell down, he didn't pick it up. Mechayvin le mishum bar, that's your bar. Even though the camel caused it. Right? That's amazing. Because the Torah says that when a camel creates a bar, it's not your bar. Over here it's different. Because the camel is yours. So Rashi's making a distinction. When your camel digs a bar, Torah says you're potter. But when your camel is a bar, then you're chayiv. When you have gilalim, then you're chayiv. When your animal creates something that's not yours and makes a hole in the ground that's not yours, that's when the Torah says you're potter. You hear? Why? That's different. The chafir loved it because the digging is not his. But the gilalim is yours. Fine. Says Gemara, Shmuel is the one that says that every time you slip on a banana peel or whatever, that's considered a bar. But Rav says that you must. What? Oh, what did I say? Rav says you must release your ownership. So now, if you're not mafkir, let's see if the oilam is holding cup. Besides those who listened to the shir yesterday, if you're not mafkir, according to Rav, according to Shmuel, it's a bar. Over here, you have a situation that it causes damage, but it's not a bar. So what is it? Shar. It's a shar. Michael and Meimar. No, but a shar. What's the difference between a shar and a bar? What's the difference between a shar and a bar? So it's called a shar because a bar is potter on kalim, and a shar is chayiv on kalim. Michael and Meimar. No, even Rav will admit in this case, who wants the excrements? They are hefker. Yeah, when I was in America, there's a whole nidon. Could people from the north and from the south, could they come into my house without permission? Some people have the key, they have the combination. Let them sleep in my house without even asking me. Why? The whole sugi we learned. I come home from America, and without notice, the guy hears the door opening. You see right away he lays down on the floor, and I trip over him and I break my leg. What's the halacha? The balabais tripped on him, chayav. The guy obviously is chayav. Hiziko balabais, and if I step on his back, I break his back. Potter, he shouldn't have been there. Papa, wait a minute. It's because you didn't know. It was a surprise. You saw the guy in there with his ganze mishpacha. Hiziko balabais chayav. Then you have no right to damage the guy. You could ask him nicely to leave. And if he doesn't want to leave, then you have to deal with it. You can take him out forcefully, go to the court, whatever. But you don't have a right to break the guy's back. You have rishus to get the guy out of there. You don't have the right to break his head. And this goes very well with their shita. If two people are walking down the street with permission, or two people are walking down the street without permission. How do you walk down the street without permission? Says Rashi, they're both running. So last night I was asking the olam, what about somebody who's walking while they're texting? In our day, make it relevant. Is that considered with permission? It happens. It happened to me at least 3-4 times here in this neighborhood where a person didn't even look that they're crossing the street. They're like this, mamish and they walk slow. Very annoying. Like, come on, I got to go somewhere. No. Like that. So Benny sent me last night, check this out, that it's usur. It's considered shaloi b'rishus. It's shaloi b'rishus. Not only that, you get a ticket. Here in Israel, if you cross the street, while you text, you get a ticket. Nobody ever got one. No, you ever got one, but it's legally.
The cop is himself on his phone. He's not going to see the guy.
Right. Huh? That's we spoke about that also. If the two people were like carrying something, whatever, it got into each guy poked the other guy's eye out. That's hezek. They were mazik the other person. Chayavim. Husku. I'm just explaining what the difference is. Hiziku and husku. Husku means they slipped on each other. Pturim. Pturim. Says Gemara time of the shneim b'shus, shneim shalei b'shus. It's two cases that they both did the same thing. They were both walking nicely, or they're both running not nicely. Like in our case, one was the owner of the house. One had no business being in the house. The b'shus potter. The guy, when he didn't know that he's there and he stepped on his back and broke his back, he's potter. Shalei b'shus. I'm sorry. The b'shus potter. Shalei b'shus chayim. Says the Gemara. I'll say this real quickly because I don't like it. There was a guy that I knew very well when I was growing up. His name was Yosef Rosenblatt. He had Machle every year. We'd come back to America. He had Machle from a different place. He's a heavy smoker to the point he was once in the hospital. I went to visit him there, and he was smoking in the ICU, and the nurse literally hit him. I saw the nurse hit him. He had another guy sneaking cigarettes, and it was a disaster. Smoking in the ICU, and they said, you could blow up this hospital. Kitzer. So one Maisa was, I was walking with him in Kensington at night on Ditmas Avenue, and two Gesundte, I'm not going to say what, are walking towards us. And I don't know if he never saw it or he just had this fear like you've never seen. So he started acting like a dog. He gets on all four. I'm like, Yosef, what are you doing? He tells me in Yiddish, I'm pretending I'm a Meshugana, and if I'm a Meshugana, they're not going to do anything to me. Kitzer, that was Yosef. So he tells me that one time, at night, in Yerushalayim, in Mei Sharim, this Ganav comes into their house at night. They notice this guy looking around. So he gets out of his bed, he turns on the lights, he says, why are you doing it in the dark? Let's look together. There's nothing here. Okay, fine. Weiter. Zog the Gemara. This bull fell into a pit. Oh, we have a gewaldige drawing here from Yoshi. Here's a pit. And comes the bull and falls in. Look what happens to the water. It's like slow motion. The water turns colors. So says the Gemara, Chayev, the guy that owns the bull is Chayev. If it happened immediately, that the bull was a dirty bull, and it got cleaned off in the water, all the mud went into the water, now you ruined the guy's water. If it happened after a long time, not my time. Have a shar bar. The shar himself is considered a pit. Umayim kalim. And the water is a kli. Happens after a bit of time, then it's a kli, the water is a kli. He shows you over here, the water is a kli that got ruined by a bar. And Rashi says, when a kli gets ruined, that's its misa, potter. According to Shmuel, okay, it doesn't matter. You have a bar, anything that you slip on, it's considered a bar, and that's it. According to Rav, you have to make the bull, which is the bar here. Hefker, which normal person is going to take a $2,000 bull and be mafker? This is what he said. When he ruined the water from himself on the spot. When the animal died in the pit, and it takes 2-3 days until the animal starts smelling up, that's considered grama ba'almahu ugrama ba'alma loy mechayev. In other words, the animal came in beautiful with deodorant, the whole thing smelled gewaldig. Later on, it developed an issue, and it had a smell. So Mela, you could say also the same case with a guy who left a pack of fresh chicken. He took a tramp and Bnei Brak, and he left the chicken in the back seat over Shabbos, and he ruined the guy's car, and the guy had to go to clean it out. When he left it there, it was fresh meat. Afterwards, in the store, whatever it is, it developed the smell. It's possible. I'm just, again, not a Rav. And yesh l'chalek, because a guy in the koil sent me something, and I want to argue with him. I think he understood it wrong. I got to argue with him. When it comes to cigarette smoke, or a guy throwing up in somebody's car, which happened to me also. I lent my car to someone, he gave it back to me, and I couldn't go into the car. So what happened? He said, I cleaned it well. I said, no, you didn't. And then Rabbi Didi had to go 3 days in a row and clean it out. He says, I'll take care of it. What are you upset at the guy? Don't worry, I'll do it. My Rebbe, he loves it. He loves it. He gets to drive a minivan for free. What do you mean? He didn't even have to pay me. Okay, anyway, I didn't let him. He takes it, he does it. Once in a while, he fills up the gas. I'm serious. He likes to do stuff. He likes to do chesed. He's doing chesed to both of us. Anyway, so I'm saying that cigarette smoke is on the spot. You smoke in a rented car, you damage on the spot.
On purpose?
No, on purpose. No, it's not groma, because I'm saying the smell is here. I'm just making afkamina.
You put the
Oh, that's something else. So what? No, other leilo. Other leilo. I'm saying there's enough community between a smell that comes out later and a smoke that's right now. That's it. I'll go ask him. Fish. Oh, yeah. The kitchen still smells. Kitchen still smells. Unbelievable. So 1 minute. When Rabbi Didi comes in, ask him to take care of the kitchen. Rabbi said, we have a minute. We have a minute to finish the summit. It's not a big deal. Oh, so it said in the Mishnah, if a father or son were on the bottom of the pit and comes a bull and falls on top of him, you have to pay kofer. The famous question, we know that kofer is only a payment that's paid when a bull does it 3 times. You pay the value of the person. But this is the first time. This guy is a meshug and a bull. He jumps on people in the pits. He falls on them. He's a killer. He kills people, so you should have killed him right away. So Rashi, I just want to point out this Rashi real quickly. Rashi says, we already had this question, we had this sugya. What happens when a bull kills somebody 3 times? You pay kofer. But the question is, on the first time that the animal killed somebody, you have to kill him. Any animal that kills, you have to kill him. So how did he even get the 3 times? So we had in the Gemara 4 tirutzim. That he killed 3, he hurt 3 people, they put them in the hospital, and then they all died. So he was able to do it 3 times. Or he killed the person, ran away. Or who's muzaymim him, or they know the Baal Bais, they don't know the shar. Says Rashi, those are all good tirutzim. Over there, where a bull kills another bull. Over here, he fell into a pit. So there's no arak. He couldn't run away. He's in a pit. So Bezin go and grab him. There's no, that he did it 3 times. As soon as he does it once, we grab him. Ask the Gemara, how did he ever get to 3? Rav Yosef, the chazi yeroiko nofal. Here it is, Yoshi did it. Here's the father working to fix the pit on the bottom. Comes the bull, he sees a bunch of grass, he's eating there. And as he's eating, boom. So every time it's shaloi b'chavana. He doesn't mean to hit the guy. I guess he's not smart enough to learn from his mistakes, but that's not kavan. So if a bull kills unintentionally, he's not chayiv misa. And memela, we have a situation where he's chayiv koifer, but not chayiv misa. The question is, and this is another yesod that we have to remember in Baba Kama. We learned that if you kill a bull, you pay koifer. You don't kill a bull, you don't pay koifer. What's pshat over here? You're not killing him because it was unintentional, yet the Gemara says you have to pay koifer. The answer is, remember this. This is shen. Shen is different. We're talking about keren. You need to kill a bull in order to pay koifer. Over here he's eating grass. So he damaged during shen. During shen, you pay koifer even if you don't kill. I know. I hear what you're saying. As I was saying it, I was thinking that also. Shmuel Amar Mani, Rabbi Yosef Aglili, he's asking that he didn't eat the person, he was eating grass and then he fell afterwards. You're right, it is the first time this animal did it, and we're not talking about the regular koifer, we're talking about 50% koifer. There is such a thing according to Rabbi Yosef Aglili. Ula Amar Rabbi Yosef Aglili. No, it's the first time he did it, and not half, he's going to pay the full koifer. Why? He holds like Rabbi Tarfon. He pays the full amount. So on the first time, he's going to pay the full amount because it happened in the domain of the nizik. According to Ula, it was his rishus. It has to be his rishus. So Mela makes a lot of sense. It was his father, his son. They had permission to be there. Why do you have to emphasize that it was his father? Any human being that a bull fell on, you pay koifer. I think, if you don't mind, let's try to do this so it's super, super simple. It's a lot of words, but super simple. I think we do it in 3 minutes. And it goes like that. I'll just tell it to you, Mamish Balpeh. It's a classic Gemara that from the Reisha, it says in the Braisa, I give you rishos to come into my domain, but you have to watch your shar. He says straight out, you have to watch. So what's parav? If he doesn't say anything, then you're chayiv. And from the Seifa, it's mashma the exact same opposite. I say, I'll watch your shar. Mashma, if it's parav, you're potter. Okay, so we have a machlokes between the Reish and the Seifa. Classic Gemara. We got to go through quickly. It's mamish a lot of words saying this very simple thing. Itmar. The halacha is that automatically, if you let somebody come into your chutzner, you take responsibility. You have to specify it. Come into my chutzner, but you have to watch it. Chaya. So since you have to watch your own animal, if it caused damage, you're chayav. Huzik potter. If it got damaged, you're potter. Bring your thing in, and I will watch it. He specifies, I will watch it. Every person could infer from here that if he didn't specify, it would be the opposite of what Allah is. Who's a chayav, hizik potter? You have full responsibility if you said so. But if you didn't say so, you don't have responsibility. That's mashma like Rebbe, they have to say so. The chayav bal shor potter bal chatzers because you said something. Hastama, if you didn't say anything, chayav bal chatzers potter bal shor. The stomach kavaleni to rusa. Aim a seifa. So what are you going to do with the seifa? It's mashma exact opposite. Knoishor vanish mereno who's a chayav hizik potter. Time the omer because he said so specifically vanish mereno. Who the chayav? That's why you're chayav bal chatzer potter bal shor. Hastama, but if you didn't say anything, chayav bal shor potter bal chatzer. The stomach lo kavaleni rusa. Without saying anything, you're not mekavaleni yourself. Asan l'Rebbe don't mashi kavaleni to rusa bal bais lishmar. Reish Rabbana v'Sefer Rebbe. What you're gonna have? The beginning goes like Rabbana and the Sefer Rebbe. Omer Rebbe Lazar Tavra is broken. Misha Shana Zulu, you're right. It's a problem. Rav Omar Kula Rabbanani. I did the Nasa Reish Shamroi Tana Sefer Vanish Moreno because in the time of the Gemara that everything had a rhyme. So the first part of the Bryce says you watch your own thing. So in the Sefer it says I'll watch it. It doesn't mean I have to watch it. It's even if he doesn't say anything, you're chayiv to watch it. Like Chacham say, it happens automatically. So it goes, he says the opposite. It goes like Rebbe that you have to say specifically. And he goes like Rebbe Tarfin that says, in the Chatzar Nizik you have to pay the full amount. Hilkoch. Omar Le Shamroi, if he tells him, you watch your own bull, I'm not giving you anything in my Chatzar. By me telling you, you watch your own bull, you have no shaykhs to my domain. You can bring him in, but I'm not giving it to you, halachically. Therefore, it turns into Karen in my domain. You should pay the whole thing. If he's stam, it didn't say anything. Then I give you rishus to come into my chatzar. Once I give you rishus to come into my chatzar, now you become a balabas. That kind of answers what you were asking before. No, there's shutfim over here. So if it's a chatzar shutfim, then what? It's like in rishus harabim. And that's the chiddush here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.
How long are you in for?